The Mississippi River at Rock Island is currently sitting at 14.7 feet. Meteorologist Morgan Strackline joins us now from downtown Rock Island to talk river flood projections over the next week. Good evening, Morgan.
Yeah, hey, good evening, John. We are very close to that minor flood stage here at the Rock Island Gauge along the Mississippi River. We will likely see those levels reach that 15-foot minor flood stage, honestly, in the next several hours. We are going to experience a very steady rise over the next 10 to 14 days now, which means by this weekend, we are expected to reach that moderate flood stage of 16 feet. And then eventually exceeding that major flood stage of 18 feet by the middle of next week. Downtown Davenport is the only quad city that does not have a permanent flood wall to mitigate these flooding risks. At 16 feet, water affects sidewalks along the river at LeClaire Park. At 17 feet, water is over most of the park. At 18.5 feet, water surrounds Modern Woodmen, and at 20.5 feet, water is at the foundations of Davenport's Union Station and Freight House building. Projected crest levels or peak flooding along the Mississippi River here at Rock Island are between 20 and 21 feet, and those are expected to be met by the end of the month. These current projections are due to snowmelt from up north and then some of the recent rainfall as well. But this does not include anything that is going to be forecasted for future rain and snowfall potential. So this number is subject to change, John.
Now, Morgan, the National Weather Service issues flood briefings every year. What's new this year regarding those briefings and why that change?
Yeah, so over the past few years, we've gotten virtual and in-person flood outlooks, which kind of looks at the long-range forecasting going into flooding season. But because this season we've had such a high flood risk, the National Weather Service has been issuing these virtual weekly briefings to better communicate what our current river levels look like and what they are expected to do over the next couple of weeks. John?
All right, thank you, Morgan. Now, the next flood briefing by the National Weather Service will be tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, the city of Davenport is advising drivers to prepare for detours on River Drive beginning Friday.
Meanwhile, crews in Davenport are putting up framework for a flood wall protecting Modern Woodmen Park. They want to get this done now in anticipation of flooding in the days ahead. A temporary walkway is also being installed so that fans can still get to the ballpark. The River Bandits will continue playing at Modern Woodmen even with elevated river levels.
Businesses in downtown Davenport are preparing for flooding. We saw Mid-American Glass sandbagging last week. Today, Mary's on 2nd cleaned out its basement in anticipation of expected flood waters. They hope the community can help if disaster strikes.
Well, we got the majority of the stuff out of the basement. We still got some stock and a few odds and ends things to get out just in case. Yeah, I just, rely on my community. They've been so good to me. And hopefully they'll be good again if we need them. And I'm sure they will be.
After the flood of 2019, Mary's on 2nd sustained nearly $90,000 in damage.